What's going on, everybody? It's Chris here from Friendly Frenzy Games, hopping in again to some Slay the Spire 2. Just thought as I was learning the game that I would take you guys kind of through what this actually looks like, and maybe we can learn a few things together. So just popping in, starting a new single player run on Standard here. I think the furthest that I've made it is actually Act 4 right now, so I've definitely learned a lot, but definitely at the same time feel like there is a lot more to learn. As you can see here, I've got 2 out of the 5 characters so far unlocked in the early access. I have not spent any bit of time with the Silent yet. I figured I would try and at least learn the basics of the game because I was not around for the original Slay the Spire, even though I did pick it up in the newest bundle. I'm looking forward to hopping into that, but we're in Slay the Spire 2 right now, so let's start a run with the Ironclad. So just a quick overview here of what Ironclad actually is. So it starts with 80 health points, start with 99 gold, and then his passive ability here is at the end of combat to heal 6 HP. Called Burning Blood here. Really what this class wants to do, obviously here it says crush his foes with sword and flame against his will. Very attack heavy, but also has block features as well. I would imagine each character actually does, but again, like I haven't played any other characters and I haven't messed around on the first Slay the Spire at all either. So very curious to see how far we'll be able to make it on this run. Since I have done more than one run in this, I believe this is where you start with just being able to kind of pick your first passive to start to shape your run, which is really cool. These are always different, which is awesome. I really like that about this game and just roguelikes in general. What do we have here? Precise Scissors, so you can remove one card from your deck. If that's going to start us off, you can see here, so our deck in general right now, we have 5 strike cards, we have 4 defend cards, and then a little bit of an attack buff here. It applies to vulnerable. Vulnerable just means that each creature with a vulnerable status is going to take 50% more damage from attacks. This is our energy counters right here. So far I've only ever been able to start my turns with 3 energy. So basically each action or each card that we play, a skill, an attack, a block, anything like that, it's always going to consume its associated energy here, but we'll obviously kind of get into that as we play along. But I don't think I want to cut any of these just yet. I think this would be more beneficial for when we start getting a bunch of just clutter in our decks, but we'll see. New Leaf is transform 1 card, so transformed cards become a random card of any rarity. That's kind of sweet, but it's going to make it we could get a legendary off the hop, but again, though, we have no real control over what the card is going to end up being. I've gotten this the last few times, large capsule. I actually really like it. So we obtain 2 random relics. Relics just kind of add a different modifier to your run as well. Usually the relics are helpful to you as far as everything that I've seen so far. I don't know if there's really any drawbacks, but again, though, it's going to definitely shape how you play your specific run, but then also you want ones that are suited to your playstyle as well. I really like this because it's going to add an additional strike and defend card to our deck, so already it makes our deck a little bigger. Obviously, you don't want a bunch of cards that do nothing in your deck, but because I like to strike a lot, my idea with this has been, in the past at least, to get our strike cards to cost 0 so that we're just constantly casting attacks. But we're going to start with large capsule again. Let's see what we get for Relic. You can see here that we just got the additional strike card and defend card added to our deck. So we're up to 6 strikes and 5 defend along with the additional bash here. So we got letter opener. So every time you play 3 skills in a turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. Basically, the only actual skill cards that we have right now are the defend. The defend gaining block right here, you can see that it is a skill card. Our strike cards are attacks, and the bash is an attack as well. It's not a skill. That's something that I kind of have to wrap my head around. I'm used to like bash being, a hotkey in something like a World of Warcraft or Diablo or whatever, and that's technically a skill, but obviously it's not here. So makes sense, but just something a little different that this game does. But that's really cool though. So essentially every time we play 3 blocks in a turn right now, we're going to deal 5 damage to all enemies, which is helpful. And then we also got Red Skull, which I don't think I've ever used before, but it's while your HP is at or below 50%, you have 3 additional strength. That's awesome. And you can see here that strength adds additional damage to attacks. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much strength stacks. I'm not sure exactly how much damage it adds, but the one nice thing about this game is that it does show you that the damage has been modified, so you'll know exactly what you're doing, so you can kind of plan your attacks and plan your turns accordingly. I should have mentioned just the first map node there. We really only had the one option, but it's going to get us into just a basic monster fight here, so there's not really a whole lot else that we could have done. What this is showing here, so obviously he's got 46 health, this little nibbit here. He's going to be doing 12 damage to us on his turn. We only have 1 defend card to block damage, so we already know we're taking at least 7. Basically, what we want to do is use as much or all of this energy as possible, and all of the cards that you don't use in a single turn are going to end up in your discard pile. Once your draw pile is completely expended, your discard pile will shuffle back in, and then you'll start drawing cards from your draw pile again. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to cast our defend to gain 5 block here. You can see our bar is blue, so we do have some block. That's just the damage that we're going to be blocking next turn. Again, we know we're going to be taking 7. 12 minus the 5 here is the 7 damage. But we'll go ahead and we will strike him for 6 damage. You can see again here we're spending 1 energy for a strike card, attack damage here to deal 6 damage to him. That's the best we're going to be able to do in turn 1. So he's going to go through, he's going to do his damage there. Now you can see here his next turn, so he's going to be getting block next turn, as well as he's going to be doing another 6 damage to us. Realistically, what I like to try and do is mitigate the damage first, because getting health in this game so far, at least with how I've played, is not that easy. Even though we know we have the 6 heal after each combat, that's really not that much. You can take quite a bit of damage pretty quickly. So we can go through here. If we apply vulnerable, maybe we'll just try that. No. I'll double stack my defense here. So we're not going to have any damage come through. But at the same time, we really didn't do too much to him. Yeah, he's going to do 6 damage to us. We've got 10 defense, though, so he's not going to get anything through, but he is at the same time going to get some additional blocks through on us now as well. You can see our 10 went to a 4. That's the other thing, too, is that your block only stacks for the turn that you're in. If you have unused block, it doesn't carry with you. It will drop off for the next turn. With this, so we know at least on his next turn he isn't going to be striking us. So these are really the attacks or the turns that you want to just unload as much attack as possible. We have only 2 strike cards though, which kind of sucks. It's too bad we didn't have 3. This doesn't really matter right now. We don't have any cards that allow us to keep our energy, so we can just kind of expend that card. It's going to be wiped anyways, so that doesn't really matter. But there are times where that would be useful, because at the end of your turn, if you've played a certain amount of cards, or say we had our little letter opener here, if we could have just used 3 shields at the end, if we had enough energy for that, we could have done 5 damage to all enemies, but again, doesn't really matter. So we know here we're taking 14 damage. I'm only going to be able to block 10 of that. What I really want to do, and if we are able to get him low enough, that's the problem with this one card costing 2 energy, is it doesn't really leave you much. We're going to be able to do 8 damage, and then it applies to vulnerable, and again, vulnerable is going to give 50% more damage from attacks, so it's basically going to add an additional 3 here, so it would be 17. That's not going to be low enough, so I might as well just, again, double stack to mitigate as much damage as we can there. I'll get a swing in and just kind of grind him down a little bit. So he gave us some pretty decent damage there, but I think with this, if I'm doing my math right, we should be able to get him. So there's our 8 damage. And you can see here now too. So he's got the vulnerable stacks. It doesn't actually change what our strike damage does for the card, but you can see as soon as we actually apply it to the target, it's going to give us the 9 damage there. So that's taking into account the additional 50% damage from the vulnerable stacks there. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about this game, is the fact that it does tell you, instead of you having to guess. exactly what your damage is going to be. So I know that was a long-winded explanation of the first battle there. I'm really just kind of trying to explain for all of the new players like I am kind of how it all works. And then we'll get a little bit more into the decisions and stuff that I make and why I make them, even though they're probably not the right ones. So you can see here's our loot screen. As far as I've been able to tell, each time you get into one of these monster fights, they're going to drop you a card. The gray here just indicates that it's something other than like a rare or a legendary. I believe it can be just like a common, or I think the uncommons are blue, but we have gold here that we can use only at the merchants, and then I guess some of the events as well, you can exchange gold for items or whatever, but we'll get that off the list here. We'll add a card to our deck. So this is going to be the first time here. Okay, maybe the blue just means it's a skill. So we can see here's a skill card, so we can exhaust a card and then draw 2 cards. Exhausting, you'll see the little info tip here, is removed until the end of combat. So basically what exhaust is as soon as you use this card, it's actually not going to be added to your discard pile. So that means it won't be, when your draw pile is fully depleted, it's not going to end up back there. It's a separate pile altogether, and you can't use it again unless you have relics or other cards that let you play things from exhaust. So I appreciate that because it's very similar to like a Magic the Gathering and like playing cards from exile. But if that's not your thing, I won't go down that rabbit hole. Again, like I really like playing attack cards. This headbutt thing's pretty cool because it lets you put cards specifically from your discard pile on top of your draw pile. So you can go through and just sort, if you've, played cards that you really liked and you haven't fully used up your draw pile yet. As soon as you use this card, you're going to deal 9 damage for 1 cost, which is pretty sweet. But then you're also able to search specifically for one of the cards that you played before. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick Headbutt. That might not be the right choice, but that's where we are right now. Again, we only have the one option here, but it is another monster node. So we'll go ahead and pick this one up. So this, we have strategic. So this enemy intends to give you 2 status cards. Status cards are basically just ones that you, that inhibit the ability to play the cards that you actually want to play. So I'll show you what the cards actually look like when they give them to us, because guaranteed I'm not going to be able to stop both of these guys in this turn. What I do want to see though, we don't really have to play a defend to get rid of this damage as long as I can kind of kill him outright, and I believe I should be able to. It's just whether or not it'd be worth it. I could go ahead and apply a vulnerable stack. Maybe we'll just do that. I will apply a defend just to get rid of his damage for now. I'm not going to get the benefit of playing this headbutt, but just for right now, we can get rid of this guy in the back here. He's not attacking us this turn, but a lot of the times they'll flip their statuses and he'll be attacking next turn. So this will at least get rid of an attacker for next turn, and I didn't waste too much extra damage there. He was 13 HP versus 11. My defense is already going to negate that damage, so I'm not too worried about it. But the big boy slime here will give us 2 status cards. So you can see there, they didn't end up in our hand. Oh, they didn't even end up in the draw pile. But they go, okay, so they go right to discard, and then they'll be shuffled into our draw pile when we've used all of our cards. So just basically like this here, we pay 1 to draw 1 card. This isn't terrible for a status card. Some of the status cards later that I've seen are insane. They have you losing life and everything else, but that's not too bad. For this here, we only have the ability to negate 5 damage. We've got 12 coming at us. I'm not going to be able to do enough damage to get rid of 33 hit points. At most, I can do 3 attacks of 6. None of them have bonuses here. So maybe what I'll do is just... we'll get rid of one of the attackers, and then I'll throw up defense. So instead of taking, 11 damage, we're only going to be taking 3. Not a bad trade-off. We knew we were going to be taking something. And I know at the same time I'm going to be healing 6 at the end of this combat as well. He's not going to be attacking us this next turn, which is awesome. We're going to be getting more status cards from him, but the only thing that sucks is we only ended up with 1 strike card in our hand here. I'll go ahead and play the defense, but that doesn't really make a difference because, again, he's not attacking. He's going to give us some more slime cards in our discard pile, so you can see because we've shuffled everything all in now, we did end up getting the slime cards. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do... Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do enough damage here again. I'll be able to do 21. I won't be able to do 27, and I don't have any defense cards either. So, actually, yeah. I guess what we could do, because I know I'm not going to kill him this turn anyways, is just see if I can figure out a way to block some of that damage. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cast Headbutt to do 9 damage. We'll put Defend at the top of our draw pile here, and then I'm going to go ahead cast Slime so that we can get Defend in here, and then I will throw it up just to block, again, 5 of the 8. Just because it is very, very important to maintain health in this game. Very, very important. Okay, so we know he's not attacking this turn or this next turn. He's just going to be giving us status. Might as well go ahead, use some energy there to give him some vulnerable and do 8 damage as well. This, we're going to have him right close to death. He's going to give us 2 more status cards, but that's really not going to matter unless we end up with a whole hand of them. But I should get at least 1 strike, I would imagine, and then we'll be able to, yeah, we can get our damage through before he gets ours. Heal up our 6, so we really ended up pretty decent at the end of all that, I would say. So we got our gold there. Choosing another card. I, for the longest time, had tried to do like a vulnerable build, because cards like these are really sweet. Deal 10 damage, double the enemy's vulnerable, which is really cool. So if we had, you know, 2 vulnerable, and then we go ahead and cast this on, so it's going to give him 4 stacks. What I'm actually really learning is that, again, health management is just as important as how much damage you're able to do. What I think I'll do is do stone armor here. It's a power. It says at the end of your turn, gain block. Plating is reduced by 1 at the start of your turn. Until next turn, blocking prevents some damage. So as soon as we cast it, it's going to give us 4, and it's going to basically stay with us for 4 turns, but it's going to get less by 1 each time we start it up. We can go to the merchant, but 130 gold probably isn't going to buy me too much. But it might be worth it just to see if there is anything in there that we could get, because again, we have an unknown node and fireplace nodes, but realistically, we're going to be hitting them all on this anyway. So let's just go see what's at the merchant. I don't usually spend much time at the merchant, but they do sell some really good things, and that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't made it all that far, to be fair. This card is awesome, especially when you can get your strike cards to cost 0, because you just cast all your strikes and then play this for 1 and you do a lot of damage. But when it's costing 1 and your strikes are costing 1, like at most you're going to be doing, 12 damage here without any vulnerable stacks. So again, very good card. I just don't know if it's that worth it to get already. I really like 1-2 punch as well. Again, for 1 cost, it says this turn your next attack is played in extra time. I don't have anything strong enough that really matters for that, but when you can start casting, cards that would normally cost 3 or some that are pumped up by the number of strikes you have, that's really awesome. You can see here, this is a really cool card. Deal 25 damage, add 3 random 0-cost cards to your hand. That's sweet, but I can't afford it. Fisticuffs, I haven't seen this one, I don't think. Deal 7 damage, gain block equal to the damage dealt. That's cool. So at most, we're going to be able to deal 7 damage. It counts as an attack card, and we're going to gain some block out of it. That's a pretty good way to kind of do a 2-for-1, so maybe I'll go ahead and I'll pick that up. And we can get out of here. This is a really good card, or this is a really good card removal service as well. I would imagine you're not likely going to be wanting to remove any of the cards that you're putting in your deck, unless, because you have to pick something at the end of some of these battles. Maybe you find some that you really just don't like. You can get rid of them that way. But I think what you're really supposed to be using those for is to get rid of some of the permanent status cards that you're stuck with. We have a self-help book, so I should have mentioned that this is one of the random events. On the unknown nodes, you're not always going to get events. You might end up in some battles as well, so that's something to be mindful of, but take your chances here. This is actually a really good one. So, self-help book. On the floor lies a tome, top 3 ways to conquer the spire. The book is encrusted with blood, so you find this manuscript highly suspicious. Will you read it? So if you read it, you can choose an attack to enchant with Sharp, which is usually what I do because I've only really gone attack-based. But you also have, so I should mention that Sharp increases the damage on the specific card by 2. Reading a random passage, you can choose a skill to enchant with Nimble 2, so it increases the block gain from this card by 2, and then read the entire book. So choose a power to enchant with Swift 2. So the first time that you play this card, you draw 2 cards. That's pretty sweet. Obviously, having cards in hand is really helpful to be able to kind of sift through the deck and get the answers that you need sometimes. But again, though, it's really hard when you only have 3 energy. You got to find a way to have the costs reduced to really make something like this worthwhile. That I've found, at least. What I think I might do, though, because I always keep casting, or because I always keep doing this Sharp 2, by now I feel like usually when I get this option, I've got a really strong attack card that I can apply that to, but nothing is really all that great that I have. What I think I might do instead, though, is choose a skill to enchant with Nimble 2. Again, I really only have these basic defense block cards, but an additional block never hurts. We still will have the option to upgrade these cards if we can get the specific node, or even at the Campfire here. So you have 2 options when you reach the Campfire. So Resting gives you 30% of your max HP. So it would give me another 24. There's really no point. I'm only 5 down from my max of 80. So getting the additional 24 is kind of overkill. I'm probably better to upgrade a card in my deck here. So let's do that. So each one of these upgrades are looking a little different. Sometimes the costs are reduced. Sometimes the damage dealt is different. So you can see here we go from 9 to 12. One thing, at least from what I've seen so far, is once you upgrade a card, you really can only do that once. You can't continue to stack the upgrades. What does this do? Does this just show you on the main board? Oh, I see. Okay. So this is just showing what your cards would look like. I gotcha. Okay. So that's kind of helpful, actually. You can just pick the upgraded version from here. So this would deal 9 damage. Ooh, that's really good, because that's essentially like a double card here. So we would deal 9 damage with it versus the 6. Then we're also going to gain block for the turn equal to damage dealt. And it doesn't even actually say for the turn. So maybe it's just a permanent 9 block. Oh no, the block itself stipulates that until next turn it prevents that much damage. Okay, maybe that's what we'll do. So instead of 7, we're going to step that up to 9, and we'll try that. I got to try and maybe go a little bit more balanced here than I've been. I feel like I'm always just glass cannon. There's really no point in going to the merchant now because, again, I've only got 41 health, or 41 gold here, so there's no real point. I have to remember, too, that if I do go below my health a little bit, that might not be the end of the world. If it's going to jack me up here 3 strength, that's pretty sweet. Okay. So this guy, obviously 55 health here. He's got 4 damage coming in. I've got a bunch of defend cards, so I'll cast the 1 just to mitigate his damage there. We'll do our 2 strikes to get damage through, but we knew we weren't killing him first turn. There we go. Blocked all of his damage. Awesome. I don't really need to cast Headbutt yet, but it is a higher damage skill than these strikes. So we'll go ahead, we'll cast that. I don't need to cast this Defend. I'll just bring... I'll get another attack card. That's actually kind of helpful because, again, we know that he's not attacking next turn. He is looking to empower, though, so I would imagine he's going to give himself strength next turn, and then he's going to swing in for big damage the following turn. So ideally, I'll kill him before then. That's one of the benefits of being able to put strike back on top of the deck, is we know for sure we're going to at least draw 1 strike card when we're going to be wanting to do damage to him before he can clap back on us big time. So there's a strength buff. You can see he gave himself an additional 7 damage here. So, okay. that we got the answer that we wanted for that as well. So it looks like strength increases attack damage by 7. So it looks like each stack of strength is going to give you an additional attack. So that's really helpful. Something like this, if it's going to give me 3 strength below 50% HP, it's going to give me an additional 3 damage on each one of my attacks. So that's really helpful. Something like this, will that be enough damage? Let's do it. I'm going to take a little bit of damage here, but I think it's worth it. So I'm going to do 8 damage to apply 2 vulnerable to him. Then I'm going to go ahead and do fisticuffs. We're going to do 13 damage. So he's almost dead, but because I'm going to be doing 13 damage, it would have only been the 9, but because of vulnerable, we're doing more damage. We're going to go ahead and actually get 13 block, so we will be able to negate his attack next turn. So as you can see, obviously the strategy and the layering of these cards, the order in which you place them to be able to have the actions taken is obviously very important in this game as well. We're going to go ahead, I'll cast Stone Armor just to kind of show you what it looks like. There's our plating. At the end of your turn, gain 4 block. So when we actually need block, obviously we don't need a block on our turn, but when it goes to the enemy turn, that's when we'll get our automatic 4 block. But yeah, I don't need to cast that because we're going to be able to kill him already. So we'll just get him gone there. But I just wanted to show you. Now we can grab our 16 gold. We're going to go ahead and add another common card. So again, this is when you're really going to want to start being careful about the things that you're adding, because our deck is getting bigger with every fight. You don't have a choice. You have to add a card. You want it to be something, though, that's going to benefit you. We're not running a vulnerable build so far, and I haven't really messed too much with exhaust, the exhaust skills, so I'm not going to bother with Havoc. What's really sweet about Anger, though, is it's going to add additional copies of it in your discard pile. So never hurts to have some more zero cost attacks in your deck or in your hand or in your draw pile, especially considering it's doing as much damage right now as a regular strike that costs 1. Full health here because we healed 6 HP at the end of that last battle because of this guy's passive. We've got 3 damage coming in here, and then he's going to do a strength boost, likely to attack me again for bigger damage. And then we've got this big guy back here looking to gear up for 11 damage. So I've got 14 damage coming at me. I'm not really going to be able to do a whole lot of damage to either of these guys, considering they're pretty high up. So I think what I'll do, I don't want to like overspend. It'd be nice to get a little bit of damage in here. I had my upgraded defend card. I'll go ahead and I'll stack up to 12, and then we can swing on somebody for 1 here. Get some cheap damage in on this guy in the back. We're going to take our licks here. We'll take 1 damage or 2 damage. Okay, so he's doing 5 to us this time. He's going to be empowering again. And then this guy wants to debuff us. So I don't know exactly what his debuff is. That's not going to be great, but again, though, this guy's only going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Let's go ahead, cast our Stone Armor. I can apply Vulnerable to this guy, and then I'll go ahead and make our Anger do more, so it's going to do 9. That's pretty sweet. But again, I will be able to block one of his, or all but one of his damage with this plating here, so that's cool. This guy's debuffing us, but not attacking us. Okay, so he gave us vulnerable. So now we are vulnerable to receive 50% more damage from everybody's attacks. But you can see here now, like we're gonna, I think this is indicative of our vulnerable stacks as well. So now we've got 26 damage coming to us because this guy's strength is higher, and again, we have our vulnerable damage here. So to try and get some block again, I'm going to do this. I'm really glad that this guy's still vulnerable because we'll be able to do what we did last time, basically. Do 13 damage to him, which is awesome. We got our 13 block, which is essentially going to take this guy out of the fight. We can get rid of this guy's damage just by killing him, so we will. And then I will be able to add 1 cost defend, and I will block all of this guy's damage now. So that card is actually coming in clutch. Fisticuffs has been awesome if you can stack it on top of Vulnerable because it's doing double duty. It's getting you decent damage for 1 cost, and it's giving you block at the same rate of its attack there. So here we know we got 12 damage coming through. I can't really do too much to block. I will cast the 1 defend. So we're going to have our 5. That we're going to get an additional 2 from plating. So I'm going to take 5 from this guy because there's no way I'm killing him this turn. But we'll go ahead, apply our vulnerable stacks there, go ahead and cast Anger. Should be able to do 24 damage to him, I would imagine, in the next turn. So we're going to take our licks there. He had 5 damage on me. But again, I'm not too worried because we are going to be healing next turn, or at the end of combat. Again, we have our vulnerable stacks here, so this 9 is going to scale to 13 damage. And it's also going to give me 13 block, which is clutch because he's only doing 11 damage to me. Might as well grab Headbutt. I would have just pulled Fisticuffs back out of the discard pile with Headbutt, but obviously the fight didn't last that long. This is the first potion I think that we've gotten in our run here, so that's pretty sweet. You can see it's a weak potion, applies 3 weak. Weak gives weakened creatures not the ability, but weakened creatures deal 25% less damage with their attacks. So that's helpful. That's a good defensive potion for us. You can see here that this is either a rare card or uncommon. I'm not exactly sure what they call the blues, but it is an attack card, which is awesome. It says deal 7 damage. Whenever you gain block this turn, deal 5 damage to the enemy. So that's really sweet because, again, it's almost a double duty card. We know we're going to be attacking. That's going to give us the 7 damage already, but then again, it also says whenever you gain block. We've got a lot of defend cards or a lot of block cards in our deck, so chances are we're casting some block anyways. That'll be sweet. It's going to deal 5 damage to the enemy. Cool. And that's whenever you gain block. So that essentially turns all of our blocks into damage as well. That's sweet. That's really cool. Okay. I like that. If I'm understanding that. Okay, so we can go to the unknown node, or we can go to the fire. I'm not going to rest at the fire. I do want to upgrade. I want to see if I can upgrade that card. That is awesome. Okay, so again, it's doing double duty because we're going to be doing 9 damage when we cast it, and it's going to do 7 damage every time we cast a block. Whenever you gain block this turn, deal 7 damage to the enemy. Okay. So that should mean if I play grapple first and then throw up 2 blocks or 2 defend or whatever this is called, it should do good damage to these guys, if I'm understanding that right. Here's our treasure chest node. There isn't always anything. There isn't always something in here, but you can see it looks like we're getting another relic here. So at the start of each combat, gain 8 vigor. Vigor, your next attack deals additional damage. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much. I don't know if it's 1 additional damage per vigor. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. It's probably... we'll have to see. I've never had this one before. I don't know. I've never really had anything with vigor anyways. Nice. We have another fire. Again, I'm only 2 under 80 HP. 2 under max, so there's no point in going through and resting. So let's upgrade another card here. There's a couple of different things that we can do. I'm almost not too concerned about how much damage I'm dealing, so long as I can stay in the fight long enough. This is going to give us 6 plating, so it's going to make it last for 6 turns versus just the 4, and it's going to give us basically residual blocks for longer, which is awesome. So instead of going 4, 3, 2, 1, it's going to start at 6 and go all the way down to 1, so that's helpful. So let's do that then, because that should, in theory, buff our grapple then as well, because this does apply block at the start of each turn. So I guess depending on how we cast the attack, it probably wouldn't see that. Maybe so. Yeah, maybe not. We know we're not doing this. Okay, so here's one of the events. This isn't a good one for us. Slippery bridge. While crossing a rickety wooden bridge, there's a sudden torrent of rain. Massive gusts of wind buffet you. I don't know what that means. Threatening to end your journey. So we can choose to overcome. Fisticuffs, the upgraded version of Fisticuffs, is removed from your deck. No, that's been too clutch for us the last little bit. So we're going to hold on. We're going to lose 3 HP. The card in the above option is randomized. So we know we're going to be losing something in our deck here. And if it's a card that we don't want to lose, I might just get rid of Headbutt at this point. It's a good card, but it's something that I should be able to easily get back if we so choose. And I really don't want to have to keep losing health here until... because I'm not even sure what I would rather lose, to be honest. I mean, a strike card maybe, but like all the other things in our deck right now are doing something. The only other good option would be Anger, but it's nice because it's a 0-cost card. So we do have Fire coming up, which is nice because we can heal, but I'd rather upgrade, to be honest. So we'll let them take Headbutt. That way we don't lose any more health. And then it still gives us the ability to upgrade a card here, because we didn't lose that much life. Now, what do I want to do? Okay, so we could get more bang for our buck out of Bash here, which is actually really sweet, because this is going to, if we apply 3 vulnerable, so we're going to go from 8 damage to 10 damage, we're going to go 2 vulnerable to 3 vulnerable, which just means that it's going to last now for 3 turns. That makes people susceptible to 50% damage. So that's definitely helpful. Because it just gives us the chance to utilize things like fisticuffs and whatever more often if we can draw it quick enough. So let's go ahead. We'll do that. We're going to just get into a regular enemy fight here. Get to see hopefully what all this vigor stuff is about. Okay. Your next attack deals 8 additional damage. Okay, that is insane. That is very good. Very good. Now, I don't know if that's just the first attack that we play every combat. We'll have to see how that works. This is dealing 14... Oh, I think that's just... Okay. So all of these deal 14 damage because this Vigor is automatically applied. So that's just what it's showing us there. So again, he's going to be doing 6 times 12. So it just means he's hitting us for 6 twice. That doesn't matter so much in this instance, but sometimes there are cards where it's like every time you take damage... the enemy would take damage, so they would take it twice if they're going to attack me twice. But again, I don't have anything like that right now, so that's not a big deal. I can mitigate 10 of his damage, so maybe we'll go ahead and do that. Just by casting those 2 blocks, I can play a strike. If these are going to be the same damage, it doesn't really matter. Go ahead, there's 14, and then we'll cast our Anger for free. So 20 damage on that turn and 10 defense. That's pretty good. We'll have 2 damage come through. That's not so bad. Okay, so Vigor's gone now. Okay, so it looks like it's just the first attack that we play each game. Deal 9 damage whenever you gain block this turn. I'm not going to be gaining block. We don't have any defense, so I don't know if I really need to cast this. Although it is higher damage than our strike, so maybe we do Bash first. I know I'm going to be taking 8 damage here because I have no way to block it, so let's just go ahead and get some additional damage through. Okay. Whenever you gain block this turn... Yeah, so that doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine. Sweet. So we got good vulnerable stacks on this guy. I know I'm taking 8 damage. Malicious. I didn't see what that thing did. Attacks cost an additional energy this turn. That sucks. But... we have fisticuffs. Actually, we can play stone armor. That's good. I'll be able to block all of that 16, I'm pretty sure. Just by doing this. So we'll cast stone armor because that'll give us 6 block. His vulnerable is still on, so we're going to get 13 block here, which should give me 19 block next turn. So, yeah, amazing. So we'll block all of his damage. He's going to do 12 to us next time, but this shouldn't matter now. We'll go ahead, grapple him again, just because I want to see if this... Oh, okay. I forgot it deals damage, but I did just want to see if that was going to work the way that we thought it was going to. 15 gold here. Heart of the Lion gives us 7 plating. That's really sweet. Potions are a one-time use, whereas the relics obviously carry with you from fight to fight and through the entirety of your run. So that's the difference between the potions and the relics. We'll go ahead, add a card to our deck here. Whenever you lose HP on your turn, gain 1 strength. Really, the only time I would imagine that I'm losing health on my turn is if the enemy has any like thorn effects, where if they get hit, they deal damage to me. Or some cards like this one here, for example, lose 1 HP, you deal 9 damage to all enemies. So that's pretty sweet because you're dealing 9 damage to a bunch of people at the cost of 1 health and 1 energy here. I don't have enough cards like this right now to make this worthwhile, I don't think. I don't want to go vulnerable right now. But that could help me again. I really didn't want to do a vulnerable build, but that seems to be the way that I'm skewing again. So maybe we will do Molten Fist because that would double vulnerable. That last fight, I think we had him up to 3 stacks. If we popped this on him for a 1 cost, that would bump it to 6. If they're going to be 50%, if they're taking 50% more damage from our attacks for 6 turns versus 3, that's huge. But what we do need is that one skill. I don't remember what it's called, but it applies vulnerable to all enemies. That's sweet. Okay, so we have a decision here now. I feel okay about this build, but at the same time, I don't really have anything super strong. I'm curious to see how it would do because it's more defensive than I would normally go, and maybe that's why I don't really have anything that I feel like is very great for attacks. But I can either choose to go against a regular enemy here or an elite enemy. My health isn't terrible. I would prefer it to be at 80 here. But we do have a fire in either case. I think I'm going to skip this. As sweet as it would be, the one nice thing about fighting the elites is generally the loot is better and you get a rare card, which, I mean, could make or break your run, to be honest. But at the same time, if the elite doesn't kill me, but they do a lot of damage, then I hit the fire and I'm not able to heal enough before getting into the big boss, I'm really no further ahead. So I think to just kind of play this one safe, we'll go do the regular enemy. Hopefully they don't do too much damage to me. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so at least with this, I'll be able to get an idea of how the damage works with grapple. So let's try that. I'm going to do 17 damage as a first attack, which is amazing. But that's very enticing as well. But I do want to just see how grapple works. So we'll do our 17 damage. It did 7 damage. Okay, amazing. So I wish actually that I had done... It would have been smarter to apply grapple to this because I could have blocked this guy's damage while killing this guy. But it is what it is. Not a big deal. What I can do, though, is apply a strike to this guy back here. Because I'm going to be able to block this dude's damage. So we'll just do that. I'm not too worried about this guy living for a turn as long as he doesn't get an attack on me. Okay. Fisticuffs. Awesome. Nobody is vulnerable right now. We have Molten Fist, which is sweet. It doesn't apply vulnerable stacks, though. It just doubles what's already there, so that doesn't really do anything for me. Vigor's gone. This Constrict, while the Slithering Strangler is alive, at the end of your turn, take 3 damage. Okay. So while this guy is alive, it's going to be dealing 3 damage to me at the end of my turn each time. I really have no way to like get more damage through to this guy. I will do... Okay. I'm going to cast Defend for 5, so I'll be able to block his damage, but I'm going to kill him. So that won't really matter. Let's cast Fisticuffs on Slithering Strangler. So it did 9 damage to him, which gave me 9 block. I guess at that rate, I really didn't even need to cast the Defend. I basically just wasted that. But we'll do... What's the higher damage? They're the same. Okay, so then I might as well just do Molten Fist on Slithering Strangler. And then... Oh, I messed that up. Because Anger's only doing 6. I needed to do 7 on this guy. Okay, that's fine. Because then I can just fully utilize my block. That's not a big deal. We're going to have 12 damage come to us. I'm going to block 14. I am going to take 3, though, from the Constrict, though. That sucks. I didn't plan that right. Did not plan that right. Oh, and that's sweet, too. I think... I don't remember actually what my HP was. I don't know if this still just goes against my block first or no, but I'm going to cast Stone Armor. If that's what that was called. just for my plating. This guy's not attacking next turn. He's going to debuff us, but we'll get rid of this guy. So there's no attacks coming to us next turn at all. Sweet. He can go through, debuff me. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm not losing life from this guy's constrict because of the block. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do our fisticuffs. So there's my 9 block. Can I kill him? I can't kill him. So I want to make sure that I have enough block to at least block his attack. Perfect. Amazing. It was nice, too, to be able to block that much. I'm blocking his constrict, and I'm blocking his actual attack. So here we go. Let's try and kill him with grapple. Going to go ahead, do 9 damage there. I'll throw up a defend, and he's dead. That's amazing. Okay. Sweet. Healed 6, so I'm up to 76 out of 80. That's perfect. Got a strength potion there, so we're going to gain 2 strength. One of the nice things about going into this boss fight, I think that's next. Oh, we have the campfire first. Even better, because then I can get another upgrade. What do we have? Hemokinesis, so we can lose 2 HP and deal 14 damage. Okay. We have our headbutt is back. Whenever a card is exhausted, gain 3 block. That's sweet, but I don't really have a way to exhaust cards right now, so I'm not too worried about that, but that is something that would be really good later. Lose 2 HP and deal 14 damage. That's good damage, but I hate losing HP, especially if you don't get this early, because the fights later, you're just taking that much more damage. I don't have a way to like gain health aside from the 6 at the end of each combat if you survive. So let's get headbutt just to have a way to kind of regenerate cards that we want to use again. Go ahead, go to the smith, and let's upgrade. What do we want to upgrade? I don't really have anything crazy to upgrade, but what's kind of cool is we can go through and upgrade our 0-cost anger. So it's going to make copies, I believe, of the upgraded version, but I'm not 100%. But that's pretty sweet to be able to sneak in 8 damage for free because it's 0 cost. So let's go ahead, let's pump that up a little bit here. We'll proceed, and now we have our Act 1 boss. So let's go ahead and see how this guy goes. So we're fighting the Ceremonial Beast. So he's starting, his turn is going to be to empower. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to deal 17 damage, again because of Vigor. But we'll do grapple there. There's no real need to do that. This is going to do what, 7 damage? Okay. So we're actually going to get a little bit more damage to the Ceremonial Beast if we throw up our defend versus just striking him for 6. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to get an additional damage each because of grapple. So that's actually the better way to go. This, so plow. So the first time Ceremonial Beast's HP reaches 150 or below, it becomes stunned and loses all of its strength. So we need to get him to 150 HP. That'll basically render this useless. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do enough damage to it. We have fisticuffs again, which is awesome, but I have no way, again, to like deal more damage to him than 9. Not to say that that's not worth it, but... What is this? Apply 3 weak, gain 7 plating. 2 strength. Actually, that's pretty good. Let's gain 2 strength. That's going to give us the additional 2 here. So I'll deal 11 damage. We'll get 11 block. I don't have any defense things right now anyways, so it's going to be what it's going to be. This is going to be 12 damage. Let's go ahead. I'm going to get headbutt again. Let's bring fisticuffs back. Cast anger. So we didn't quite get him down to 150. What I'm going to do to just make sure... Actually, we heal. At the end of each act, you heal when you visit like the next act's fountain. So I don't actually know if I want to use these potions yet. I was thinking that I would be able to use plating just to kind of completely negate his damage, but I don't know if it's completely necessary yet. We're going to take our lickings there. Took, I don't know, 6 or 7 damage. He's doing 20 to us next time, though, and he's going to continue to increase his power. I can apply vulnerable to him, though, here. So that's 15. That's pretty sweet. Ooh, it's not going to be enough. Oh yeah, we're going to do 16 damage to him. So this will get him below 1... Oh, no, it won't. Yeah, it will. It'll get him below 150. So he's going to be stunned now, and Plow wears off. Perfect. So we're going to get a free turn. The additional 16 block obviously isn't going to matter, but being able to stun him for a turn gets rid of his attack there, so that's huge. He's not even attacking next turn, which is even better. He's going to just try and debuff us, so that's fine. I want to just get all of our damage in. I might as well cast plating because it's going to be basically residual block. We'll just get our damage in here. That's fine. You can debuff us. He's got a vulnerable stack, so he gave us the ringing debuff, which means that we can only play one card per turn. Even if it's 0, it doesn't really matter. He's going to be swinging for 15 damage. Again, I'm not too concerned because we heal at the beginning of the next act. So I want to just make sure that if we're only going to be able to cast one card per turn, that we're setting us up for future turns here. So with Bash upgraded here, I might as well spend the most energy as I can. Go ahead, deal 18 damage to him, give him vulnerable for 3 turns, and hopefully we survive that long. With plating, we got our 5 block there for free. Plating next turn, we're going to get 4 for free. Oh, and that ringing, I thought it lasted the entire fight, but it was only for that turn. So we're actually in way better shape than I expected even. I don't think I'm going to be able to do 107 damage before I'm taking 17. So I want to do Headbutt so that I can get... Oh, Fisticuffs is already in the draw pile. We're going to get it next turn anyways, because we're drawing 5 cards. There's only 3 in there, so that's fine. But what I could do is bring Bash back, because then we're guaranteed to draw both. Oh, we won't be. I need to get one more card in there to be guaranteed it. Oh, well, we're still in pretty good shape, I think, for that. Let's do... I'm going to defend just to make sure that I can defend something. We'll get Anger in there. Okay. So I'll be able to block 9 of his 17. We're going to take 8. That sucks. That hurts. But this worked out perfectly. I'm going to go through. I'm going to do a Bash. We'll go through. We'll do our Fisticuffs. So it's going to do 16, and I'm going to get 16. And he's not even attacking this turn anyways, so it doesn't matter. I guess Fisticuffs really didn't matter at that point because we've got more than enough block. I can only cast 1 card this turn. And it looks like Anger for free is going to be just fine. We're going to be able to do our 15 damage bang on. It's a 10 damage card, but because of the vulnerable and our increase in strength here, we're going to be able to bump that up to 15 and slay the beast. Let's go. That's awesome. Okay. So we get 100 gold here. Pretty good payout. Lost a little bit of life there, but again, because we when we start the new act, we're going to heal anyways. Potion here to deal 10 damage to all enemies, which is awesome. Just a note about the potions, you can only carry 3 at a time, so if you got something in your loot window, you're not able to actually pick it up. If you have 3 already, you're going to have to either discard it, or I believe you can skip picking up the potion here if the ones that you have already are better. But you can see here the card icon is yellow versus the gray, so it just means that the rarity is a legendary card here. As I was saying before, 1-2 punch, absolutely love this card. It is awesome. Cascade is a really fun card too. It's very much like the magic mechanic. It says here, play the top X cards of your draw pile. X is going to just be however much energy that you have when you play the card. So ideally, you would play this at the very beginning of your turn, unless you had ways to increase your energy beyond that even, and there are ways. There's some really cool cards that I would imagine we might be able to get in the second act. But this, at most, is going to be pulling, the top 3 cards off of your draw pile. If you get, 3 blocks, that's not going to be that helpful. Well, I guess it depends on your circumstance, but I think with this, it's a little bit more predictable. My cards aren't that great. If Cascade were to pull like 3 strikes off the top, that wouldn't be the end of the world. But the majority of my cards aren't super great. That I don't know, playing 3 of them for free or essentially paying 1 energy per would be worth it. Like they're essentially all like 1 anyways. Yeah. aside from the bash, that's the only one that I would be getting a benefit from the cascade for. So let's go ahead. We, again, like with Dark Embrace, whenever a card is exhausted, draw one card. A cool power, but I don't really have ways right now to exhaust my cards. So we're going to just go through and do 1-2 punch. This card is sweet, especially, I'm pretty sure you can reduce its cost to 0 when you upgrade it. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look. But again, it says this turn, your next attack is played an extra time. Super sweet. It's another one of those things where I wish I had stronger attacks in general. But if we were to play our bash, if we were to play 1-2 punch and then our bash, it's going to deal 20 damage and double stack the vulnerable as well. So that's really sweet. Things is like fisticuffs as well. It's going to do 9 damage, dual 9 damage, and then we'll be able to double block or double stack our block. Even grapple, like that's sweet. That's amazing, actually. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so you can see starting Act 2, obviously we still have 57 out of 80, but as soon as you talk to this, I don't even know what they call these guys, but as soon as you talk to this one here, I don't know if these are all the same. I don't think they're always the same, but I have gotten some of these a couple of times. I absolutely love the nutritious soup because of how I've been playing. What this one does, so it says enchant all your strikes in your deck with Tez Katara's Ember. So basically that means that your strikes are going to cost, you can see on the side here, cost 0 and gains eternal. So eternal means it cannot be removed or transformed from your deck. So we won't be able to upgrade the rarity of the strikes, but we can still upgrade them, but it's going to make them 0 cost strikes. It is unreal because you're just casting all of these attacks for free. Absolutely love that. Every time I've seen Nutritious Soup, I pick it because I just like dealing damage. But that also means, though, too, we can kind of start focusing on defensive skills a little bit more. We can afford to put some good energy into defensive skills if I'm going to be able to cast attack skills for cheaper or for free. So there's definitely merit to that as well. You can see with this, like, we got to do a lot of fighting to really kind of get anywhere. Honestly, I might do... I really like picking Roots with Fire because, again, your hit points are very difficult to manage, I feel like. I kind of like this route because we've actually got a good amount of gold, so it might be worth visiting the merchant, but we got to fight 4 times before we even have the opportunity to get to a fire. I guess it's the same with this as well, so let's just get into it. I got to remember I might as well utilize my potions anyways. In an instance like this is really good. It's going to deal 10 damage to all enemies. Obviously, we've got a fight here where we've got 3 enemies, although the exoskeleton is going to make all of the HP or all of the damage that I do reduced to 9. So even though this says it's going to do 10 damage, it's only going to do 9 to all of them. But that's pretty worthwhile to me. In my opening hand, I have no way to increase or to add vulnerable, so it doesn't really matter. It would have been... that probably wouldn't do anything anyways, again, because of exoskeleton. So let's just deal 9 damage to all of them. That's pretty dope. I'm going to have 9 damage coming at me unless I can kill these guys early. And honestly, I probably could because, again, like you look at these strikes, the first attack is going to do the additional 8 damage from Vigor. But again, that doesn't really matter. It says it's dealing 14 damage, but if you drag this on, it's just 9 damage, again, because of exoskeleton. It's going to be the same thing. Grapple, all of that is going to be the same thing. So, I do have 1 defend card. So let's get the small damage. I can let that through. This guy's going to pump up. He's not attacking this turn, but he will pump up on us next turn. I'm going to just cast a defend here to block that guy's damage, even though it doesn't matter. I could actually probably wipe him out. No, I won't. Okay. That's fine. So this guy's not attacking. He's doing... sorry, that was 1 damage 3 times, but my block stopped all of that, so that's sweet. Here we go. So we're going to cast 1-2 punch, and it's going to let me double cast bash. So it's going to cast it. It would have casted it again, but he died already. Not a big deal. That sucks, though, because I will have 8 damage coming through. Not a big deal, because we're going to heal the 6 of it. I don't have a way to block it, but at the end of the fight, we will heal 6. Let's just go ahead, knock this guy out before he hulks up, and we're all good there. Nice and easy. 16 gold. Let's add another card to the deck. Okay, this is really sweet. Bludgeon is a nice card. It's expensive, but to deal 32 damage, especially if we can play this as like the first card with Vigor, it's going to do 40 damage to something. That's probably going to knock something out right away. It's way better. Again, I still don't really have ways to lose HP on my turn, which is fine. And then this, deal 3 damage to a random enemy 3 times. That's helpful when it's one-on-one because you know exactly where the damage is going. But in groups, if it's hitting things that you don't want it to hit, it's not that great. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll pick Bludgeon as like a fatal blow kind of attack here and move on to our next enemy. Got a Mantis. What's this? Escape Artist. So this guy's going to try to escape the combat after 5 turns. This enemy intends to apply afflictions on your cards, so it's going to make them worse. He's going to do 17 damage to me. This is going to be a beast. I don't know if we'll get the Vigor stack twice. We probably won't. But it's going to cast Grapple twice. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, because we're not gaining block this turn. But to be able to do that, okay, yeah. We only got the 1 stack of Vigor. That's fine. We'll go ahead, cast Stone Armor. But now you can see, because we're fully expended on our energy, but having these strikes cost 0 and still being able to plug through 6 damage is amazing. Now, I'm going to be getting hit pretty good on this because I don't have a way to block more than 6 damage, so I'm going to be taking 11. What we could do, though, and maybe it's worth it, I don't know if I want to use the plating, but I could use weak on him. Actually, no, it's probably more worthwhile to use plating because we'll be able to almost entirely block his attack, and I've got another 2 fights before I reach a fire, so I'd rather preserve as much HP as possible. So let's go ahead. We'll drink that. I did my math wrong. I'm going to take 4 damage on this guy, but that's fine. Oh, and that was even better because it did the additional damage from when we applied our block from plating. Okay, awesome. He stole our card. That's the affliction that he wanted to take. So he stole a grapple from us. Not a big deal. We don't have... Okay. He's just going to be empowering himself next turn. Not a big deal. I should be able to just stack all this damage and kill him. There we go. Awesome. So if you can... I guess that's why Escape Artist is big. Like, that guy was going to leave in 4 turns. If he stole your card and you couldn't kill him in time, you would lose this card. So that would suck. But at least you can loot it back. We get a speed potion. I don't really like this one, to be fair, but it's because I never really blocked. This would help, though, obviously, for blocking on your turn or casting cards like this. Okay. Okay, so this is sweet as well. So we can use Setup Strike as an attack, but this might be even better, Body Slam, just because we're starting to skew a little bit more into blocking, but it's going to deal damage based on the amount of block as well. So that's another almost balanced card where you're getting attack damage as well as block. You're not getting block, I guess, but you're getting a little bit of a payoff here. As much as I like Setup Strike, because it basically means that the other attacks that you do are going to get an additional 2 damage. That's pretty sweet, but let's try Body Slam only because we are skewed a little bit more defensive than normal. Back up to full health, which is awesome. That's the one benefit of being able to kill that guy so quick, and then healing 6 health. Body Slam is going to do nothing right now. It's going to deal 8 damage, but that's purely just because of Vigor, because we don't have any actual block applied. Headbutt, I don't have anything that I want to draw out of there. We might as well just do Molten Fist. It kind of sucks to use it right now because it's exhausted then. Maybe the best bet is actually to do Headbutt. Just because, I mean, I would much rather use Molten Fist if we have vulnerable stacks, because it really does nothing if we don't. So, let's do Headbutt here to deal 17 damage. I'm going to throw up a Defend, and I'm already going to block all of this guy's damage. Spread the love around here a little bit and do some damage to this guy, because I would imagine he's not attacking us this turn, but I would imagine next turn he will. And he is going to give us 2 status cards. Now, these ones start to suck. You really don't want to have these in your hand. Again, this is why it's so nice to be able to have free cards, because you're going to be able to play these stupid ones out of your hand. Something like this, where it's at the end of your turn, if this card is in your hand, take 5 damage. That hurts. It's exhausted, so it doesn't go into your discard pile. It's not reshuffled into your hand, which is really helpful. But it is not a fun card. This guy is going to be doing the same thing to us next turn, but I don't have any way to defend this guy's 13 damage, so I'm going to just see if it is possible to kill him. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. I'm not. I don't have any ways to apply block, but I can at least make sure that I'm not taking 10 damage by holding those cards. I'm going to be taking 13 here. Maybe just to make sure, I will weaken him a little bit, just so that I'm taking 4 damage less. Okay. This guy's going to give us 2 toxic cards. That's fine. Nice. Let's do 1-2 punch. I need to put it... Okay, so this would flat out kill him. I think that's the play, just so his damage is off the books. That's dead. But I am going to be taking 15 back here, so maybe I didn't do that right. Ooh, and I'm going to be taking these. Yeah, that probably wasn't the smartest. I'm going to be taking 25 damage that turn. I do have a fire coming up soon, so that's sweet. Dang. Okay. Let's do stone armor to block this guy's damage. Do this. Do this, do this. Okay, so I'm not too worried about that now. He's not going to be able to do anything to me there. Now I just need to bank on being able to get him dead this turn, which I don't know. Again, he's not attacking, so it should be fine. He's going to give me the status cards, but shouldn't be that big a deal, because I will kill him before those actually go off. So let's just do that, and he's dead. I already healed my 6. It only brought me up to 52, which is kind of tough. Now this is sweet. I've never actually used this, but this is really beneficial. I've got a bunch of cheap cards, but it does mean that I'll probably be able to play my hand out each time. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give Pyre a chance and just see how that works for me. Again, like, it'd be really sweet to be able to take down an elite, but I want to be able to manage my health a little bit, so I'm just going to go to the fire. This, again, they're limiting all of the damage to 9, which really sucks. This is going to be 3 damage here, 8 damage here, and 8 damage. Okay. So I don't even know. Molten Fist. Okay. Let's just... Who's dealing the most damage? This is going to be 9 damage. Oh, yeah. 9 damage. 9. That'll get him almost dead. That will kill this guy, though. So that'll get all the damage wiped off the board. So grapple. I'm going to throw a defense up. Oh, that's not even... It's not. It'll almost kill him, though. Right. I forgot that not everything is going to do the 9 damage just because it's capped at that. Okay. Okay. So that one hurt, but we should be okay. I'm going to cast Stone Armor just because, again, I don't have any... I'm surprised that I don't have any block skills. I definitely got to look at getting some more defensive skills now. For sure. I'm not going to be able to do enough damage to anybody to kill them outright. I do want to get some damage off the board if possible, though. And it's not. This is going to do no damage. So that did nothing. I can't get damage off the board. He's not attacking. He's not attacking. So this one's going to hurt a little bit. That was blocked because of plating. That's going to be another 10 spot, though. That sucks. Okay. We should be good here now, though. I'm going to use a free strike to get rid of that 9 damage. Awesome. Let's do fisticuffs here. That's going to give me 9 blocks, so that's sweet. I'll throw up this defend, so that'll be that gone. There's no need to kill him right now because I'm going to mitigate his damage, so I might as well just wipe this guy off the board since he's looking... Ooh. There's no point in wasting 9 damage on him, so I'll throw it on this guy. Because they're both pumping up for next turn. I should be able to kill them next turn, and then hopefully this guy as well. But at the end of the day, I've got his damage blocked. Cool. So this is a little late to get, but I might as well play it. Or maybe not. I think I might as well do 1-2 punch, because then I can cast Headbutt twice. It's going to deal 12 damage. It's not actually. It's going to do 9 twice. So it's essentially 18. I'd have to use 3 on this guy to kill him. Let's just get damage off the board again. This is going to bring something back to my draw pile. So I'll bring Fisticuffs back. It did 2 attacks, so I can go ahead and grab something else, which is awesome. So that damage is off the board. I'll use Strike to get that damage off the board, which is obviously very helpful considering I didn't have any defensive cards. This guy pumped up. Shouldn't be a big deal, though. I should be able to kill him this turn. Let's do this. Do Fisticuffs. That'll pop twice. I'll get 18 block, but it doesn't matter. Perfect. Okay, sweet. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm not sure why these are upgraded, but I like that they are. Deal 10 damage, draw 2 cards for 1, or I could deal 14 damage, double the vulnerable. I think I've still played into vulnerable a little bit more, because there's really only one thing that's granting vulnerable for me. So I think I really got to look at either finding ways to get more vulnerable, or starting to delete some of those from the deck, because that's not really helping at this point. But again, I did want to visit the merchant. I've got 327 gold, so that should be able to do something for us here. Gain 8 block, gain another 8 block if you have exhausted a card this turn. So that's something where Molten Fist would actually be very helpful, because that does count as exhausting the card. What I'm really interested, though, because I've never actually been able to afford buying some relics from the merchant, so let's see if he's got anything good. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand is free to play that turn. That's amazing. A lot of my cards are cheap to cast, though, anyways. I don't really know if I care. I only have the 1 power as well, so I really... Oh, I have 2 powers. So I really wouldn't be gaining that much from it, I don't think. Upon pickup, raise your max HP by 7. That's good. It's pretty expensive for what it is, but that's good. Start each elite combat with 2 strength. That's sweet. That's cool. So that's going to give me an additional 2 damage, which, I mean, realistically could do quite a bit. Whenever you shuffle your draw pile, choose a card from it to put in your hand. That's really cool. That's really cool because it gives you exactly what you need, but only when things are shuffled. Interesting. Okay. And then Bolus is a free 3 damage. At the start of your next turn, return this card to your hand. That's cool, but at the same time, it's only 3 damage. I don't have anything that's buffed based on attacks right now, so I don't know if I really care about that too much. I do like this, though. That's pretty cool. But is that going to help me? I don't know if I do elite fights too much, but that could be pretty sweet. And this could be pretty sweet. I'm going to get Evil Eye because that's pretty awesome. And I can afford Sling of Courage, so I might as well. Let's try it. Start elite combat with an additional 2. That's pretty sweet. I don't actually have to fight an elite along my path if I don't want to. But there might be benefit of it. It's just I won't have a whole lot of health by the time I get there. So I probably won't do that. Again, we can do 1-2 punch again. That's cool. I already don't remember what that 1 card was about exhausting. I think I have to exhaust it in that same turn, which isn't going to be helpful. With this, I might as well cast Headbutt twice. It's not going to be 17 both times, but let's do this. Okay. And I will block for 5. That's not great. I'm going to be eating 17 damage here already. Oof. That's tough. If Bullbug's attacks are fully blocked, it becomes stunned. So essentially, if I can put 15 in front of him, he'll be stunned and can't attack for a turn. Let's do 1-2 punch again to double cast strike. I've got 8 damage back here and 15 here. I think it makes sense to just get the biggest damage off the board. I can't even do that. Dang. Okay, I'm going to get 8 block here, but that's not that great. Oh yeah, I got a lot of damage coming. Okay. This one's going to hurt. I didn't even fully use my energy. I got everything as like too cheap to cast, actually. Okay. This is cool, but doesn't really help me right now. Bludgeoning does 35 damage. Okay, so that won't even help. Okay, that's what I have to do. So I'll do... It's going to deal 12 damage. So I could deal 12 damage to this guy and get my block, or do I just wipe this guy out? Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to be able to block all 22 damage. That's going to stun this guy, but he's basically dead next turn anyways. This guy is going to debuff me back here, though, which has weakened me by 1. Okay. He's stunned, so I'm not too worried about him, but I do still have another 15 damage on board. So he's got more damage back here. I don't think I can kill them. I should have just stacked all that damage, I think, on this guy. This is going to double vulnerable, which is sweet. But I need to block some damage again. Yeah, I just did not order any of that right. Should have stacked some damage there. I'll get out of this fight, I think, just not that well. Let's do stone armor. I will cast grapple on this guy because that'll... Maybe I'll do it on this. I'll cast a defend. I'll be able to kill him. I can kill him. This guy's going to debuff me, but not a problem. And I should be able to do 21 damage, I would imagine. Yeah, we should be fine. Okay, that was not a good fight, but we got through it. Got 6 health there. I don't even know what's the next. Oof. Oh, I gotta make it through a couple fire. I gotta make it through a couple of fights just to get fire, so that's not good. I don't have... Okay, gain 5 block, upgrade all cards in your hand. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Gain 16 block. That is huge. Maybe we do that. Because again, it's dealing damage back whenever I'm attacked. If I have strength bumps and stuff, that should still count as damage for me. So, okay. What's this? Whenever you enter a shop room, heal 15. That's sweet. I don't have a shop along my route right now anyways. That'll be really sweet for here, though. But I got to make it 2 fights on 20 HP. I don't think that's happening. What's this? Negates 2 debuffs. So basically, if I go to apply vulnerable on these guys, they are going to counter that. So that sucks. This guy is going to give me 3 status cards. That sucks. And this guy's got 3 or 16 damage coming through. So that all sucks, to be fair. But I can block 20 here, which is awesome. That just means I don't need to... What's this? Okay. Yeah. It just means that I won't actually need to play a defense card, but all I have basically are defense. So that doesn't really matter. do all of that. I can gain block here. I did exhaust a card this turn, so I'm going to get additional block. But again, I'm like so stacked on block that it doesn't really matter. I only have to block the 16. But I didn't have any other damage that I could do, so these dazed cards, they're not in my draw pile yet. That's kind of nice. They don't do anything aside from just taking up slots. This could be beneficial because this fight might go a little while. Let's go ahead. We'll play that. Ooh, that wasn't good. That'll be helpful. I just need to make it out of next turn. This guy's got good damage coming my way. Another 16. I'm going to get 7 block here, but I can't even play that defend. So, and I didn't even gain the block. Whoops. I screwed that up. Okay. Well, before I get status cards, I'm not going to be able to kill this guy back here, so let's get this guy off the board. I'm going to take my 16 damage. Ooh-wee. That is not good. Okay. We'll do this. We'll do stone armor. He's not attacking me next turn, so not a big deal. He's going to debuff me, though. I got 4 health. Oh, my. Okay. 1-2 punch. First strike. Do this. Do this. And he's dead. Awesome. So that pyre definitely helps. I just need to be able to cast it early, though. Lose 6 HP, gain 2 energy, draw 3 cards, exhaust. That's sweet for free, but I would not really be able to play that right now. Iron Wave is awesome. That's essentially doing what we want to do. Gain 7 block, deal 7 damage. Sweet. Might be too little too late, though. I got one more fight before we get a heal, and after that heal, I have to fight an elite. So I think this is going to be the end of this run, but I can do this. I can mad stack block on this, I think. So I'll do that. I can do this. I'm not going to get the exhaust bonus on this, but it did damage to him, and then I'm going to do some more damage and huge block there. Okay, that was good damage and decent block considering. Awesome. I have 1-2 punch. He's not attacking me, so I'm not going to bother with stone armor. I'm going to double cast Bash upgraded. He's up to 6 vulnerable, which is huge. It's going to last 6 turns. We were able to do a good chunk of damage to him that time. This guy's got 14 blocks, so I need to do quite a bit of damage. Or just kind of use this one as like a rebuild turn. He's got 19 damage coming to me, though, so I basically don't have a choice. I have to do a double defend. He's going to do 9 damage to me still. Oh! He's got frail on me, so he's going to probably kill me, actually. Ooh, yeah, he will. He's going to do 13 damage to me because my debuffs were not enough. What I should have done, and I didn't realize that's actually how this works, I should have drank the dex potions before... Yeah. I should have drank the dexterity potion before I applied the block, because then I could have gotten around the frail. Live and learn. I now know how to use that potion, but that is definitely going to be the death of me now. Damn. That sucks. That sucks. I knew I was in tough on that one, but that sucks. Okay, I don't think we actually unlock anything on that. Very, very cool, though, guys. This episode lasted a little longer than I was expecting, but I hope that I was able to show you a little bit of the game here. I probably didn't explain everything completely right, and I know I didn't play all of my turns completely perfect, but I hope, though, that I was at least able to provide a little bit of context, at least how I've been able to understand things so far. If you're interested in the game, I would highly, highly, highly recommend, especially if you like games like Inscription, just any like deck builder roguelite. I've really enjoyed my time with this game, especially not having played the first one. Wasn't really sure what to expect for it, but it has been a lot of fun. Obviously, there is a bunch of depth to this game, a lot of different strategies and stuff that you can employ. I've spent probably 10 hours just on this one character alone, and I'm not even close to having a solid run with it, so I'm very curious what it actually looks like to make it all the way through a play, and then just to see even also like how the other characters are. Very, very excited to continue playing this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and learned something from it. If you did, give this video a like, drop a comment, let's have a conversation about the game. While you're here, you might as well subscribe to Friendly Frenzy Games. We've got much more Slay the Spire and other video game content coming. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everybody.